Hi everyone, this is Katie Groves, and this is day 5 of our Healthy Coping Challenge. I'm sorry for doing this with bad lighting again. I'm especially sorry if this lighting, how the light shines on my face on one side, is triggering for people. I have to do this here because our neighbors are making a shit ton of noise that's especially audible from the bathroom. But I'm sorry if you can hear it from here too. We're just going to do our best to not get too overwhelmed with triggers and get through this video anyway. So the healing tools we drew for today were yoga, qigong, singing, reading a spiritual book, reading aloud to our partner, and meditating on a Louise Hay affirmation card. So I'm just going to go one by one through the list of how this went. I was actually able to more or less do everything on this list. I'll just go through it one by one and explain. So for yoga, what we did was about 2 to 3 minutes of simple poses. Child's pose, cat cows, downward dog, into a plank, and then child's pose again. Like the simplest yoga routine ever. And amazingly enough, just those 2 minutes was more healing than most of the experiences I've ever had with yoga. I had one with the Kundalini yoga that was absolutely mind-blowing when I was 17. Sometime I'd like to make a video about it. It was just beyond incredible. But this today was something like I'd never experienced. After the plank, when I returned into child's pose, I felt such a deep sense of peace, of healing, of connection. Whoa, I'm sorry, I have to pause. Something really weird just happened with my ears, with my hearing. So I've never spoken of this on my channel, but I'm just going to bring it up right now. I do have reason to believe that I've been targeted with directed energy weapons, and some stuff has been going on surrounding that for the last few days, more than usual. So something just happened with what I think was a targeted attack with the directed energy weapons, just now. So I'm going to take a minute to get my bearings, and then I'm going to keep talking, because I have learned to, in many ways, ignore it as much as I can. I've also learned to do things to take care of myself around it, but I've also ultimately learned to not let it bring me down. So, the yoga routine. Very healing, very centering, and I think a big reason why it was so healing and centering was because I allowed myself to just do what I could. I did the qigong routine beforehand. Well, I only did about 7 minutes of that. Sorry for the background noise. Our partner is asleep, and I think he's whimpering. What was I saying? I just got triggered there. As sweet as it is, unexpected sounds trigger me. So, yeah, I'd only gotten 7 minutes into the qigong routine, but it tired my arms out so much that I didn't have much endurance for those yoga poses. But just allowing myself to stop when I needed to, and to just do the practice with mindfulness and just do what I could, not push myself and dissociate like I normally would, I got more out of that than I've gotten out of most any yoga practice I've ever done. So this is something I really want to start doing on a regular basis, regardless of whether I draw it as a card. I want to actually make it a habit to just do 2 minutes a day of yoga if I can, and build up my strength from there. I really am sorry for the sound of snoring, if y'all can hear. One of my big triggers actually is snoring. I've gotten used to it with my partner and can sleep with it now, but still sets me off some, so I'm sorry to anyone else who's had that experience too. It's a really weird thing. It was used in my programming. My dad was a snorer, and I think it started out that way. And now the train. Oh, Lord. This video is a mess. I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep going. It's after midnight, and I just can't repost this, try to remake it, I mean. So the next one, qigong. I did that qigong routine. I'm going to put a link to the video that I used in the description. It was really cool. It had some text in Chinese, but the actual instructions were English captions. There was no talking, which was actually really cool for us. There was just, hold on, I have to plug this in. There was just the sound of nature and the English captions, and I thought that was really, really cool. I found it a lot easier. I get really triggered and overwhelmed with like instructional videos where the person is like really giddy and overly excited, or too kind of like stereotypically like hippie and zen. I don't know. I just do better with just watching the person move. So the next thing was singing. We didn't make a singing video of this because her voice was really hoarse, but we did practice fully memorizing one of our favorite songs, Vivica by Jack Off Jill. Jack Off Jill was a band that was associated with Marilyn Manson back in the day, but I don't know how much mind control programming was involved there. Some of their lyrics really do sound like they're about that, but Vivica is just this really sweet, really beautiful kind of gothic love song. They're not dark wave. Most of their music's Riot Girl, but this one's just really sweet and really beautiful, and it makes me think of my sister, Elizabeth, who I made a video about. I'll put a link to that in the description too, if anyone wants to hear about what happened to some of my siblings. It's pretty brutal stuff. So, the next thing was to read a spiritual book, and we weren't able to sit down and focus much on that. So what we did was we just focused on one poem from this book we own that we absolutely love. That is called Art Psalms by Alex Gray. I don't know what the fuck our neighbors are doing up there, but it sounds like they're using power tools, which is another massive trigger. This video just, it feels like the universe doesn't want me to make this video right now, but I will endure. I'm sorry if this is bothersome. Jesus Christ. Anyways, this book, Art Psalms by Alex Gray. Alex Gray did, his artwork was used by the metal band Tool, and his stuff is just incredible. And I didn't know for a long time, as a fan of his art, that he was also a poet. But he has this book, Art Psalms, that is of both his art and poetry, and I chose a poem that I'm going to read to you guys from it that I think is really beautiful, and that's what I was able to focus on today. It reads, God's self sings one song, moment by moment, with infinite variations. All sounds, one symphony. All visions, one icon. All beings, one actor. O microcosm, hear with God's ear, see with God's eye. It's been one of my favorites for a long time. And the affirmation card that I randomly selected to go with this was absolutely perfect. I had just switched into a child altar who was extremely excitedly starting to straighten up our very messy apartment with the intent to make our home actually feel like a home and feel safe and positive and like a sanctuary for us. And they were thinking of all the beautiful ways they could decorate it and make it personal to them. And they drew this card. My home is a peaceful haven. Here, I'm going to show it to you now. It's really dark in here, but you can kind of see it. And on the back here, it says, I bless my home with love. I put love in every corner, and my home lovingly responds with warmth and comfort. I am at peace. I just couldn't be more perfect. I almost wonder if my system somehow played a trick on me and was able to purposefully select that card out of the deck. It's just beautiful and perfect for what was going on today. So the thoughts we have about this in conjunction with the poem are that our home is a microcosm. It is a little sanctuary as a microcosm for the universe itself, for the earth, and for this universe that is our true home. And that we can also let our home be a reflection for our sanctuary inside. And so our inner sanctuary can be mirrored by our external environment. Those are just things that came to our mind and thinking about these things together. Basically, that we can create sacred space. And in order to do so, we have to pray to hear as a microcosm with the ears and see with the eyes of God. And the last thing was to read aloud to our partner. We hardly were able to do that because our partner was so tired today. He was just basically asleep. He wanted us to read to him, but he fell asleep instantly. We did read a little bit of The Hobbit. We actually started over because he had fallen asleep yesterday when we read it to him pretty much the whole time and didn't remember what we'd read. It was funny because we'll notice that he's asleep, but if we say something, he'll wake up and insist that he wasn't sleeping. It's really cute. So, yep, we tried to do everything on the list. And while we were exhausted and triggered from a comment that we received on our walkaway video, we made this video about the hashtag walkaway movement, encouraging people to walk away from both parties. And we're about evenly matched between likes and dislikes, but almost all the comments have been negative because, well, haters are louder than lovers, I guess. That's something I've learned, especially with the internet. So yeah, if you saw that video and appreciated it, please leave a positive comment. It would make us feel good. Okay, so this has been such a chaotic video. I'm sorry it's so long. I don't even know who's going to watch this, but if you're watching it, thank you. We appreciate your attention. It always feels good to have light shone on what has mostly been a really dark and painful life. So for tomorrow / tonight, but we're going to go to bed, we have drawn to do a light workout, read aloud to our partner, again, have safe sex. What does that even say? Focus on our hydration. Sorry, this author's handwriting was bad. Drink herbal tea, and go to a grocery store. I am going to drink some tea right now. That is one thing I'm going to do. That's going to help me. The rest I will do tomorrow, if I can. Thank you. Bye.